Ryanair closes base and all routes at Cardiff effective immediately. Following months of speculations and at last a very public dispute between the airport and the airline over airport fees, it had looked like the two parties had yet again found an understanding. Ryanair, currently the largest customer of Cardiff Airport, announced this morning that it would cease all operations at Cardiff Airport effective immediately and close its base. All local staff has this morning been informed about the situation and that it will be laid off. The airport management reacted shocked by the sudden turn of events and is said to be disappointed by the airline's decision, but that the airport had stretched itself to its maximum in negotiations over airport fees and didn't see any further options to lower them.
$100, $50, $40, $30, $20, $10, $5.
Hello and welcome to Cardiff on a December morning. The year has been a rather turbulent one for the airport, with highlights like the opening of the terminal extension, but also with challenges such as the ongoing labour dispute, the conflict with Ryanair, and of course the ongoing daily challenges of keeping the airport running. If one thing, however, is a constant in the aviation business, then the fact that there seldom is time to reflect on past events. And that is also the case this morning for ground crews that as always do their jobs to the best of their abilities, like here at this Embraer ERJ170 of Alitalia that right now is being pushed out of the ramp as it is ready for today's first flight to Milan Linate Airport. Next we have a Boeing 737-800 of Hungarian carrier Malev that, after having arrived yesterday evening, now slowly is being prepared for its first flight of the day to Budapest, scheduled for 20 minutes past 8 in the morning. A new airline at the airport is Tunis Air, that since the beginning of the month has started a regular service to Cardiff from the airline's main hub at Tunis Airport. The Boeing 767-600 is by now being prepared for its return flight, scheduled to leave in half an hour. 40 minutes until its scheduled departure has this Airbus A319 of Germanwings that later this morning will be returning to Hamburg in Germany. Also with a destination in Germany is this Airbus A319 of Germanwings that is being pushed out of the ramp at the moment. After an overnight stay, the plane will be heading to the German capital of Berlin. After having arrived 1 hour ago from New York Newark Airport, have the preparations for the aircraft's return flight now slowly begun. The Continental Airlines 757-200 has a scheduled departure time of 20 minutes past 10 in the morning. With an arrival only 20 minutes ago is this Airbus A330-300 of Northwest Airlines still being offloaded. It will remain here until 10:30 in the morning, when it is scheduled to fly back to Detroit in the United States. On the other side of the terminal we find this Airbus A320-200 of Iberia that arrived from Madrid half an hour ago. By now, ground crews have started preparing the aircraft for its outbound flight back to Madrid, scheduled for 8:30 in the morning. This Avro 100F of TNT is right now being pushed out of the ramp after its pre-flight preparations have been completed. It will now make its way over to Belgium and TNT's European cargo hub at Liège Airport. And with that, it's time for some more news. Third US carrier to arrive at Cardiff? Rumors suggest that the airport management of Cardiff Airport is close to striking a deal with another major US carrier. Sources close to the matter suggest that the airline in question could be American Airlines, but so far the management has remained tight-lipped regarding the matter. Furthermore, it has been rumored that EasyJet might be considering an engagement at Cardiff Airport for the coming year. Unresolved dispute with workforce. Following last month's strike, there has yet to be made any significant progress in negotiations between the union and airport management. An unnamed source close to the matter said, "Negotiations have resumed but have failed to bring any substantial move in the conflict. Further strikes seem likely," the source stated. Lufthansa to increase frequencies. The German airline prepares for next year's FIFA World Cup in Germany, as it announced a significant increase of offered seats on its routes to Frankfurt and Munich, beginning from the summer timetable. In one of the remote stands we find an Avro 100 jet of SM Brussels Airlines. The aircraft is almost ready to be pushed for its return flight to Brussels. Only the air stairs need to be pushed away from the fuselage before the aircraft can get on its way. Just arrived from Billund and about to push into the ramp is the 737-800 of Danish carrier Sterling Airlines that has been hired in on a very special assignment, as it will be flying scientists to Kangerlussuaq in Greenland, from where they want to carry out several studies researching the effects of climate change. Another new airline and arrival at the airport is Welcome Air, who have started flying to Cardiff during the winter season from Innsbruck using one of their Dornier DO328s. The aircraft is right now taxiing towards the ramp, where it will remain for approximately 60 minutes. Very early this morning, this Avro 85 of Titan Airways arrived from London Stansted. It is not yet known what the next assignment will be, but given the airline's business model of ad hoc passenger flights, it is likely that it has been hired for a short-term contract by a local company. 5 minutes ago, this Boeing 717 of Olympic pulled into the ramp. The stairs have already been pushed up to the aircraft, but so far no bus has arrived, delaying the disembarkation procedures for this morning's flight. And with that unfortunate coordination issue, we move on to the GAT and maintenance areas. Coming off the runway right now is this Airbus A321 of Spanair that has just arrived from Barcelona to where it will be returning later this morning. Taxiing to the runway is this Boeing 737-800 of Transavia that after an overnight stay at the airport now is ready for today's first flight, which will bring the aircraft back to Eindhoven. Lined up and waiting at the runway is this Helvetic Airways Fokker 100 that will be heading back to Zurich in Switzerland, however, as it looks like with a slight delay. Still better than the delay of the CRJ 700 of Lufthansa, that with a delay of almost 1.5 hours now finally is ready for its flight to Munich. After the late arrival of the crew and several no-show passengers with checked-in luggage, the aircraft and passengers are eager to get going. In the cargo ramp, we find a rather rare visitor, as an Ilyushin EL-76 of the Russian Air Force has found its way over here from Moscow. There isn't much public information available regarding the purpose of the flight, but the crew has filed a flight plan with a departure scheduled at 5 minutes past 11 and a stated destination being Belgrade. At the GAT we find several Ryanair 737s. Following the airline's announced retreat from Cardiff, the airline has for now parked some of its aircrafts here, as all flights for the day, and indeed for the future, have been cancelled. Cardiff Flight School has as usual planned several flights for the day. The first will go from Cardiff to Southampton. Taxiing towards the maintenance area is this Boeing 777-200 of British Airways that will be going into maintenance for a scheduled inspection of the airframe. And the maintenance area is certainly busy this morning, with several aircraft being handled, like this Avro 100 that later today will return to Heathrow. And finally, we find a few more parked Ryanair 737s. It is expected that all aircraft the airline had stationed at the airport will be transferred back to the airline's largest base at London Stansted in the coming days, marking the end of a chapter at Cardiff Airport. And with that, our tour around the airport grounds comes to an end, as does this season of Cardiff. If you liked the video and indeed the season, then don't forget to hit that like button, and of course if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe. With that, see you in the next season of Cardiff.
I'm coming home. Oh, oh. I'm coming home. I wanna be